Miau. Und willkommen zurück zu Let's Play Shinrai, Broken Beyond Despair. Und wir machen jetzt hier weiter, wo hoffentlich die ganze Action beginnt. Denn wir waren jetzt gerade bei der Party angekommen, denke ich. Auf jeden Fall Kapitel 1 sind wir jetzt und nicht mehr im Prolog. It was already 10 p.m. as we continued following the mountain road under the black night sky, richly ornamented with an endless variety of twinkling stars, some slightly bigger and shining more vibrant than others. It also carried a melancholic full moon in its center. However, despite this giant white orb hanging above us and bathing everything in its pale, ghostly light, I could barely see anything outside the window. Also der Mond. Only a black sea of trees and irregular shapes of the mountains lined up in the distance. And of course the flashing lights of various vehicles passing us every once in a while at such velocity. Habe ich schon vorher gehört, die Autos. They had already vanished into the darkness behind us the moment I took note of them. Growing tired of counting the number of cars rushing past us, I turned back to Bara-chan, who was leaning against my shoulder, yawning. She looked as though she was about to fall asleep any moment now, but... seid ihr nicht auf dem Weg zu einer Party? Wäre nicht so toll, wenn ihr so müde seid, dass ihr da direkt einschlaft. Before I got a chance to ask if she was okay, she quickly rubbed her eyes, righted herself, and smiled at me as if to say she was perfectly fine. Clearly she was not, but I couldn't really blame her. I would have preferred to lie down in my warm, comfortable bed and get a good night's rest myself, but it was already too late to turn back now. I threw my gaze back out of the window once more, sighing with regret. To think I was actually sitting here on my way to that silly party. I still couldn't believe it. If only it had started earlier at least. Aber so eine Halloween-Party findet nur mal im Dunkeln statt. Das macht ja keinen Sinn, die bei helllichtem Tageslicht zu halten. Oder? I mean, I was nowhere near as tired as Bara-chan seemed to be, but in just about 2 hours it was already going to be midnight, and who knew how long Rie expected us to stay up? We definitely had a long night lying ahead of us, that much was for sure. And I had no idea if I was able to last that long, since I wasn't used to staying up so late. Also, 22 Uhr ist jetzt nicht wirklich spät. Selbst zu meinen Schulzeiten bin ich nicht um 22 Uhr ins Bett gegangen. Ich wollte es nur noch mal anmerken. Vor 0 Uhr gehe ich eigentlich nie ins Bett. So viel zu das ist ja schon spät, ne? Then again, I guess that was the whole point. From my perspective, it only served to make it even more of a hassle, but according to Rie, having a Halloween party in the middle of the night was better for setting the right mood. Ja, deine Cat-Ears setten auch die richtige Mut, wenn du da hingehst. Ich meine, ich hab nichts gegen Katzenohren, aber gruselig sind die jetzt nicht unbedingt. Besides, technically Halloween was only starting in 2 hours anyway. Right now, it was still the 30th. Was? Warum feiern die dann eine Halloween-Party? Das verstehe ich jetzt nicht. Weil Halloween ist ja eigentlich, kommt ja eigentlich von All Hallows Eve. Also der Abend vor Allerheiligen. Also im Prinzip ist Halloween ja erst am Abend des 31. Demnach macht es überhaupt keinen Sinn, dass die am Abend des 30. sich schon treffen. Es sei denn, sie wollen jetzt 24 Stunden durchfeiern. Was ich jetzt aber mal bezweifle. Oh well, at least tomorrow was a Sunday, so I could sleep as long as I wanted. Also scheinbar haben die das nicht vor. The only thing I had to really worry about was whether the others were going to have too much mischief on their minds. Unfortunately, it was more likely for a time portal to suddenly pop up in front of us and sent me back to last week, so I could somehow prevent Barra-chan from accepting Rie's invitation in the first place. Das hättest du wohl gern, aber du gehst jetzt zu der Party hin, weil ohne die Party gäb's hier bestimmt keinen Inhalt. Wow, what the hell? Braindead Jerk. Ja, genau. Das ist doch immer so, wenn man Auto fährt. Dann sind immer alle anderen scheiße. Ich kenne das selber. Just because you're driving a big truck doesn't mean the road belongs solely to you, asshole. Ja, aber das Gefühl habe ich auch immer. Die Leute mit den dicksten Autos, also so mit so Geländewagen und sowas, das sind immer die, die mitten auf der Straße fahren und bloß kein Stück von der Straße abweichen wollen und nicht mal am Rand der Straße, weil man könnte sich ja die Reifen schmutzig machen oder irgendwie so ein Scheiß. Stattdessen muss man selbst immer ausweichen, wenn die einem entgegenkommen, weil die mitten auf der Straße fahren. Ich kenne das nur zu gut. Es sind immer die Leute, die fettesten Autos fahren, die nicht für nötig halten, mal aus dem Weg zu fahren, weil deren Auto geht bei einem Unfall wahrscheinlich nicht mal kaputt. Egoistic nuts like that really piss me off. I hope he gets into an accident. Would so serve him right. Anywho, I think we should be there soon, my little cuddly bears. So, you said it's gonna be a Halloween party, huh? We never did anything fancy like that when I was your age. But is it really gonna be alright to have a party in a hotel? I mean, won't you disturb the other guests? Dunno, but Rie's dad owns the place and gave her permission, so I guess it will be alright. I don't think he would have allowed this if it would cause trouble for actual paying customers. Rie planned this whole thing quite some time ago, so I'm fairly certain her father made sure not to have any visitors this weekend. Besides, considering it lies rather isolated in the mountains, it's most likely some kind of vacation resort and not an actual hotel. Okay. Die fahren also in ein Hotel, wo nur diese Partygäste sind. Ist das nicht irgendwie schon der perfekte Ort dafür, dass da irgendwas ganz gewaltig schief gehen könnte? And since there are no major vacations this time of the year, it's unlikely for a lot of people to have made reservations. It might even be closed. I see. Guess that would make sense. So, wait a moment. Doesn't that mean you'll have the entire resort to yourselves? That begs the question, will there be any adults around, or is it just your kids? I mean, my little Rose amongst only teenagers in an isolated hotel far away from home. For an entire night? If some alcohol's gonna be part of that equation, I don't even want to imagine the possible outcomes. We wouldn't drink any Alk, Dad. Ja, klar. Aber dass er ihr da überhaupt erlaubt hinzugehen, wenn er denkt, da ist Alkohol im Spiel. Ich meine, die ist 14. Ne? Das ist so dieses Alter, wo man eigentlich damit anfängt. Rie's dad would never allow that. Ja, würde er nicht erlauben. Aber wann hat Kinder jemals irgendwas... ne? Wann hat Kinder jemals abgehalten, davon irgendwas auszuprobieren, wenn die Eltern gesagt haben, du darfst das nicht? Im Gegenteil ist das doch dann nur noch verlockender, oder? And we know very well that we're too young for that. Aha. Or do you think we're that irresponsible? Da hast du dich jetzt aber verplappert, dass du drink gesagt hast. Du hast sehr wohl vor, was zu trinken. That's not what I meant, my honeycomb. I know that I can trust you and Raiko-chan. I'm more worried about your classmates. Maybe it would be better if I stay overnight as well and... Forget it! You be a good dad and just drive back home, right? Besides, you really think Rie's dad would leave her unattended? She's more precious to him than his entire fortune. Of course there'll be adults around to make sure we ain't doing nothing stupid. Aha, okay. Of course that was a lie. Bara-chan knew as well as I did that not a single person over the age of 15 was going to be there. Only the two of us and our classmates. However, it was better not to give Mr. Akadori even the slightest excuse to stay with us. At least not unless we wanted to have a truly horrifying Halloween experience. Zieht sich dann das Katzenkostüm an? I don't know. Come on, Dad. You're saying you don't trust me? No. Of course I trust you. It's just... Well... When he looked through the rear view mirror into Bara-chan's eyes, the blood instantly drained from Mr. Akadori's face as he broke into a cold sweat. His ardent love for his daughter was his biggest weakness. There was nothing he feared more than making her angry or even worse, making her hate him. Therefore he usually treated her like a goddess and, the moment he noticed she was unhappy about something, immediately tried to appease her. In situations like this, he was willing to do literally anything at her command and Bara-chan was fully aware of that. Also tatsächlich so eine verzogene Göre. Others would have probably taken advantage of it, but she wasn't that kind of person. Also doch keine verzogene Göre. However, every now and then it proved to be quite useful to hold such power over one's own father. I see how it is. Well, in that case, I just won't talk to you ever again. What? But Mousy, you can't do that to me. I'm just worried about you. I don't want anything to happen to you, my little cream puff. Hey, you weren't serious about that, were you? Please, don't do this to me. Du bekommst jetzt das Silent Treatment. Nobara-chan? Alright. Powerless, all he could do was let out a deep sigh as he realized he had no choices but to resign. I promise I'll drive back home after I've dropped you off, alright? Alright. Aber ist das ein Vampirzahn, was sie da drin hat, oder hat sie da ein Piercing? And with Bara-chan smiling again, a big wave of relief seemed to wash over her father's face. I honestly felt kind of sorry for him, but having Mr. Akadori around would have been far too awkward and embarrassing for obvious reasons, so... Anywho, I just remembered. Weren't you supposed to wear costumes? That's what Rie wanted us to do, but I'm too old for that childish nonsense. Und trotzdem hast du Katzenohren auf. Oh! Not surprised to hear you say that, Raiko-chan. Oh my, I love it when cute little girls try to act all grown up. Hast du das in den Eroge gesehen, die du so gerne spielst? Wait, what? Was he making fun of me? What about you, my heartache-inducing sweetie pie? You sure you don't want to wear that sexy skin-tight latex costume I picked for you? Dear Lord, Dad. No. Skin-tight latex costume? Suddenly that hideous cat costume Mom had tried to impose on me didn't seem so bad. Aha. I'm your 14-year-old daughter, goddammit. Oh, okay, also das meinte sie mit im ersten Part, wo sie gesagt hat, er wäre manchmal ein bisschen creepy. Come on, you know it was just a joke, my kissy poo. Even for a joke, it's still so wrong on so many levels. And there was another reason why we didn't necessarily want him to stay. His rather questionable and dirty sense of humor. If you could even call it that. Oh! It's way too easy to mess with you, my snuggle muffin. Wie viele von diesen Spitznamen wohl noch kommen? Or maybe I'm just too good at it. Yeah, too good at creeping the hell out of your daughter, perf. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, hey, look. We're finally there. Thank God. Amen to that. I was certainly glad that, after his long and somewhat bizarre journey with dozens of embarrassing, strange and sometimes downright disturbing pet names, we had finally reached our destination. Sehen wir jetzt das Hotel? Das bestimmt nicht schon aussieht wie ein Horrorhotel. It's quite chilly out here, isn't it? When I hopped outside the car, the cold air struck me like a bolt of lightning, causing my body to vibrate violently. Quite chilling was quite an understatement. The inside of a freezer was a summer paradise compared to this. Weiß ich nicht. Weil in einem Gefrierschrank sind schon etwas kältere Temperaturen, als man sie von draußen kennt. Ganz sicher. As my head sunk between my shoulders, my arms automatically slung themselves tightly around my thin body, trying to keep it warm. A well-meant yet utterly futile gesture. If only I could have brought my jacket with me. But thanks to that certain someone who had thrown us out before I had even been able to grab it, I was now experiencing what it felt like when blood in your veins slowly begins to freeze. Mr. Akadori was shivering as well and puffed out tiny steam. Ich muss dringend lesen lernen. Meine Konzentration muss da sein. Mr. Akadori was shivering as well and puffed out tiny steam-like clouds, fogging up his glasses. Other than that, however, he didn't seem too affected by the low temperature. Bara-chan, on the other hand, I could literally see the warmth getting sucked out of her cheeks. The cold's icy touch seemed to have slapped her even harder than me. She looked wide awake now. Ja, wäre auch besser so, ne? Alright, my little beauties, here you go. So, du fährst jetzt weg. Mr. Akadori heaved our bags out of the car trunk and handed them over to us. While doing so, he took the chance to recite the usual things parents like to preach their children in a moment like this. Don't do anything stupid, don't forget to call every hour, no alcohol, no drugs, no sex, and so on and so forth. Okay, also and so on and so forth kam von ihr. Gut. So much for his I know I can trust you just a couple of minutes ago. Aha. Also vor allem über den Sex würde ich mir ja schon Gedanken machen, wenn die in einem Hotel feiern. Anyway, he proposed once again to stay and assured us we wouldn't even notice his presence, but Bara-chan only had to give him an annoyed glance and he quickly dropped the idea. A little disappointed but still smiling, he winked at us one final time before jumping back into his car and leaving the parking area just a moment later. Und tschüss. Möge die Party beginnen. We waited until the red backlights of this were swallowed by darkness, just to make sure he was actually driving home and not secretly trying to stay. Ja gut, kann aber auch warten, bis ihr reingegangen seid und dann wiederkommen. Once we had confirmed he was gone, Bara-chan and I nodded at each other, turned around and made haste for the resort. Neither of us wanted to spend a second longer than needed out in this cruel world. Ja, ich hasse diese grausame Welt auch. Ich bin auch lieber drin. We headed towards the dim lights of a pair of old stone lanterns which guided our way. There were a bunch more of them guarding a long staircase that climbed up a rather steep hill. Located in its top was the resort, an old-fashioned Japanese-style 3-story building surrounded by a dense black forest. Seeing this, I couldn't help but think it would have been the ideal backdrop for a horror movie. Ach ja, und genau dazu wird es sich wahrscheinlich auch noch entwickeln. No wonder Rie had chosen this of all places as the setting for her little party. Ja, aber wer macht in so einem Hotel, ganz ehrlich, wer macht freiwillig denn in einem Hotel Urlaub, was schon wirkt wie der Schauplatz eines Horrorspiels? Following the lantern lights, we rushed past countless eerie-shaped trees until we eventually reached the huge wooden front doors of the resort. There was a big sign hanging above them. The fading letters on it read, Miyamoto Mountain Resort. After just a quick glance at it, I slammed my thumb on the small metal button to ring the bell. Ding dong! Ist jemand zu Hause? Die Pizza ist da! It didn't take long for the bulky doors to open with a deep wooden groan. Ja, jetzt sind die aber enttäuscht, dass du keine Pizza mitgebracht hast. Wie du es ja angekündigt hast. So, ist da jetzt auch jemand oder? Nothing. A little bewildered, Bara-chan and I stared at the pitch-black entrance before us. There was not the faintest source of light visible inside, nor any sign of anyone to greet us. Slowly we turned our heads and looked at each other dumbfounded. What was going on? Ja, wahrscheinlich haben die sich da alle drin versteckt und jagen euch gleich einen Schreck ein. I would have expected Rie to jump right at us, or at least Runa to show up and welcome us, but... Wait. Before I was able to wonder about this oddity anymore, I suddenly heard something. Ja. Die springen gleich da. Footsteps? Yes, I could hear slow, heavy footsteps echoing from inside. Bara-chan seemed a little nervous and moved closer to me, almost hiding behind my back. We continued gazing into the thick mist of blackness ahead of us, listening closely to the sound of those footsteps. As they drew nearer, I could eventually make out a shadow silhouette moving towards us. And just a couple of moments later... Ah, da hat jemand ein Kostüm an. Rie? That you? Ooh. What the hell? Rie? Yes, that was undoubtedly Rie. Her blood-covered arms raised high, she continued to stumble towards us, moaning in a deep, rough voice. Bara-chan tried calling out for her a few more times, but it didn't seem like she was listening. Ja, vielleicht, weil sie ihren Act nicht unterbrechen möchte. And when she finally moved her blood-smeared lips to speak... Brains! Brains! Raiko-chan! Nobara-chan! I'm gonna eat your brains! Ah! Das macht dir ernsthaft Angst. Als ob ein Zombie jemals Namen nennen würde. Before I even got the chance to react to this weird statement, Rie had already thrown herself at me, pressing me sort against her soft, well-endowed chest that my ability to breathe was temporarily disabled. Und dann schmiert sie dich voll mit dem Kunstblut. The moment she finally stopped squeezing my abdominal organs up my chest, I gasped out for air, and watched Bara-chan suffer the same fate as me. Happy Halloween! What you doing, Rie? You're trying to kill us? Oops. Realizing she might have gone a little overboard with her passionate greeting, Rie began scratching the back of her hand and in embarrassment as Bara-chan and I slowly recovered from our near-death experience. Sorry. I guess I overdid it a little there. But I'm just so glad you two actually came. To be honest, I was a little worried you wouldn't show up. Man... when I first asked you, you didn't seem too eager to come, and you never came to any of my other parties, so... Well, there's a first time for everything, and we promised you we'd come, so... I sure would have been disappointed if you hadn't shown up, but I hope you didn't have to force yourselves. I want everyone to have fun after all. Well, I still wasn't too thrilled to actually be here and would have rather returned home, but of course there was no way I could tell her that. Es tut mir leid, wenn sie jetzt nicht klingt wie eine Frau, aber bis jetzt kam ein einziger Mann vor und ich bin nun mal keine Frau und es fällt mir sehr schwer, Frauenstimmen zu machen. Und dann auch noch verschiedene. I felt a little bad for even thinking that way, but in the end I just preferred being by myself, enjoying my peace and quiet. Big parties with lots of people simply weren't my thing. Nevertheless, I had to admit seeing Rie so incredibly happy right now did make me feel at least a little glad I had come. Anyways, what did you guys think about my costume, huh? Her blood-stained hands resting on her hips, she spun around, proudly presenting herself to us from every angle. The makeup was actually pretty well done. Maybe a little too well. Do I look horrifying or do I look horrifying? Ich würde sagen, du siehst aus, als hättest du ein Kostüm an. Ach ja. Well, all I can say is that you scared the hell out of me. That's good enough then. Anyways, speaking of customs, Raiko-chan, those ears. Oh my god, they're super cute. Du hast sie immer noch auf, ja? Ah, that was right. Those accursed cat ears. They were still stuck on top of my head. I had totally forgotten about them until now. I didn't think you were the type to wear something like that. I know, right? But they do suit her. Indeed. You look so cute that I could literally hug you to death. Yeah. Slowly Rie came closer. Like a lecturer's old man, she raised both hands, her fingers eerily moving like spider legs. I suddenly felt threatened, but the moment I tried turning around and running for my life, she slammed me against her chest, cutting off my air supply once more. Got ya! No getting away from me! I tried wriggling myself free, but to no avail. My frail body was no match for Rie's strong arms. Only when Bara-chan mentioned my face turning the same lifeless color as her makeup, Rie finally let go, sparing me the fate of joining the ranks of the undead kitty army. Oops. Sorry. You're alright, Raiko-chan? Yes. Apart from feeling like all my bones had been crushed, that was. Like cat ears, huh? Well, that's not really what I meant when I told you guys to dress up Halloween-ishly, but I doubt you're carrying your actual costume inside your bags and plan to get changed once you're inside, do you? Nah, sorry. We didn't bring any costumes. Well, I expected as much. But I guess I'll let it slide just this once. Because Those ears are so incredibly cute and I'm really super happy you actually came. Especially you, Raiko and Jan. Yes, I'm totally gonna call you that from now on. Jan? Oh god, the cuteness. Come here, Raiko and Jan. Give Mommy Rie a hug. I had no clue what this nyanical nonsense... Okay, jetzt fängt sie damit an, oder was? I had no clue what this nyanical nonsense was about, but didn't get the time to ponder it. For the third time within a mere 2 minutes, Rie seized me with her arms. And this time she was using such brute strength that it literally felt like she was going to hug me to death. I started to feel a little lightheaded and my vision began to fade, but fortunately... Hey, don't you kill her now! Don't worry, I'll be careful not to break her. I wanna hug her a million more times tonight, so I can't afford to destroy her yet. As I tried to fill up my flattened lungs with air again, I couldn't help but think it might have been better if she just destroyed me now. I was already feeling like an abused plush toy, and the prospect of this torture continuing for the rest of the night was, well, not very nice. I really should have stayed home. Miyamoto-san, isn't it about time we let our guests inside? Wer ist das? Ist das ein Typ oder eine Frau? Or are you planning to let them freeze in the cares of the cold night? Oh crap, you're right. Sorry guys. Raiko Nyan's ears were so distracting, I kind of forgot about that. Honestly, Miyamoto-san. As the host, you should be more considerate of your guests. Ich glaube, das ist eine Frau. Well, gibt's nur Frauen in diesem Spiel? That's what you're here for, right? To compensate for your lack of manners. Hey! Speaking of which, I'm ashamed to have forgotten my own. Shinpuku-san, Akadori-san, it's good to see you. With a gentle smile, the girl in the blood-stained kimono bowed elegantly to us. Her movements were very precise and refined, just like I had come to expect from her. She was the exact opposite of Rie. Yo, Runa, sup? Ach, das ist Runa, okay. Hello. Alright, we should really head inside now. Don't want you guys to catch a cold. So, come on. You can leave your bags over here by the counter. Of course, she didn't need to tell us twice. I had honestly kind of forgotten about the freezing temperature, what with all that hugging causing my body to almost go numb. Nevertheless, I was still happy to escape the embrace of the cold night. So, without wasting a second longer than needed, Bara-chan and I hopped past our classmates and finally took shelter inside the well-heated mountain resort. After putting my bag down near the counter and exchanging my shoes with a pair of indoor ones provided by the resorts, I took a glance around the room as the blood in my veins gradually began to regain an appropriate temperature. The reception wasn't too big and there wasn't much around in terms of furniture or decoration. Just a few lockers, shoe cabinets, a couple decorative plants, and a few old-fashioned paintings of rivers and mountains slapped onto the walls. Apart from the main entrance, there were 2 other doors. One leading further into the building and the other a cloak room labeled as staff only. Overall, the reception didn't leave much of an impression. There was one thing of interest, however, und das wäre... Considering the number of available lockers, this place was apparently made to hold a maximum of 50 guests at the same time. For an isolated mountain resort, that was actually much bigger than I had anticipated. Ja, vor allem, wer will in einem Horrorhotel so da Urlaub machen? Once again, we're happy to see you. Welcome to the Miyamoto Mountain Resort. This time both of them bowed to formally welcome us, even though Runa had to give Rie a little reminder via an elbow poke. Those two really were like day and night. Okay. Sie ist im Fußballclub und sie mag Girl Talk, sie mag Horror und Partys und Surprises und Taiko, wer auch immer Taiko ist. Vielleicht erfahren wir das noch. Und sie mag keine Harem-Anime. Also das kann ich jetzt nicht nachvollziehen. Und Studying. Also mit Partys scheint sie ja so ziemlich genau das zu mögen, was Raiko nicht mag. Und so. Und Horror ist ja quasi das, was Bara nicht mag. Hikari Runa, okay. Im Kalligrafie-Club. Sie mag Cooking, Formalities und Kimonos. Und sie mag keine schlechten Manieren oder Gossip. Okay. Klatsch ist auch nichts für mich. Rie Miyamoto and Runa Hikari. The two of them were polar opposites. Whereas the tomboyish Rie was the loud and chaotic type, Runa was a very reserved and refined young lady. Her gestures and manner of speech always gave me the impression she was the offspring of a noble family. Ironically, however, it was the exact other way around. Runa was the daughter of a fishmonger and Rie the one whose father was rather wealthy. The Miyamoto family didn't just own this mountain resort, but several all across the country, as well as a few first-class hotels. Sometimes I couldn't help but wonder if the two of them had accidentally been switched at birth. Either way, apart from Bara-chan, they were the only two among our classmates I've exchanged words with on a regular basis. Admittedly, that was mostly because they liked to spend their lunch breaks with us for some reason. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have talked to them at all. That didn't mean I couldn't stand them, though. On the contrary, from the people of our class, I probably liked them the most. Even though Rie's hyperactive behavior could sometimes really get on my nerves. Also der Hauptcharakter scheint eher so, ja, so introvertiert zu sein und eigentlich keinen Kontakt zu anderen Leuten zu suchen, ne? Scheint aber trotzdem nichts dagegen zu haben, falls doch mal jemand mit ihr Zeit verbringt oder so. Sie würde halt nur nicht von sich aus auf irgendwen zugehen, wie es scheint. So, everybody else is here already? Yes. Adding the two of you, we are finally complete. Nice! So, how many are we then? All in all, 10 people. What? Only 10? Didn't you invite more? I did, but everyone who isn't here yet called earlier saying they won't make it. Oh, that sucks. And no, right? It's Kenji and his gang. Every single one of them had some other lame excuse. Food poisoning my undead ass. I know they went to Misaki's party instead. Traitorous dogs. Well, at least the most important person is here, so everything is fine. Isn't that right, Miyamoto-san? Let me guess. Taiko-kun? Uh-huh. Maybe. That girl. Oh well, I had already figured as much. Of course, she hadn't organized this whole thing just to have fun with her classmates. Rie wouldn't be Rie if she didn't have some ulterior motives. You're gonna try going after him again? Of course. And this time I'll succeed. Although, it probably won't be as easy as I hoped. And when she said this, her eyes suddenly narrowed with suspicion as they shifted to me. Huh? I underestimated you, Raiko-nyan. I didn't think you'd pull some dirty trick like that. Come again? Thanks to those kitty ears, your cuteness levels have shot through the roof. I have to agree. They make you look extraordinarily adorable, Shinpuku-san. Okay, sie spricht sie scheinbar sogar mit dem Nachnamen an, also so richtig übertrieben höflich. Curses, not again. This was so embarrassing. I should have taken these stupid ears off during the car ride. But don't think that will be enough to snatch him away from me. Aber das hat sie doch auch gar nicht vor, oder? I won't lose to you, Raiko and Jan. Taiko's gonna be mine. Don't even try getting too close to him. Otherwise, I'll have to numb your brains for real. Going after him wasn't my intention anyway. You know, you should know by now that I don't really care about that kind of stuff. Jeez, why are you always so serious? I just wanted to tease you. Try to lighten up a little. If there's anything you should get serious about, it's getting a boyfriend. You know, you're a really cute girl. If you'd be less serious and smile more often, you could have any guy you want. Not this again. Seriously, it was always the same with Rie. Boys seem to be the only topic on her mind. War sie das, die keine Harem-Animes mochte? She almost never talked about anything else. I was completely unable to comprehend this. According to her, it was every girl's duty to catch herself a cute boyfriend, but I honestly didn't really care much about romance and all that jazz. Besides, even if I did, all the guys in our class were idiots anyway. Well, except Taiko. Aha, also doch, he was actually kinda cute. Even I had to admit that. Still, that didn't mean I was after him or something. Miyamoto-san. Stop harassing poor Shinpuku-san. Just because you are constantly thinking about boys does not mean all of us have to. So, you don't care about boys either? That's not what I said. In any case, shouldn't you be worrying more about catching yourself a boyfriend before you start lecturing us? This is not the first time you're trying to conquer Kikai-san's heart after all. Heh. There's nothing to worry about. This time my plan is 100% foolproof. Taiko is gonna be mine. As confident as ever, I see. Or maybe delusional would be a more fitting word. Go ahead and make fun of me, but once I've seduced and spent the night with him, you won't be laughing no more. Deswegen auch in einem Hotel, ne? Spend the night with him? You really plan on going that far? Of course. Why do you think I'm dressed like this? Weil das eine Halloween-Party ist. Also, wenn ich jetzt versuchen würde, irgendwen rumzubekommen, ziehe ich mir dafür nicht ein zerfetztes, blutverschmiertes Zombie-Kostüm an. Well, now that she mentioned it, her outfit sure was kind of revealing. That skirt was a little too short and therefore ideal for panty flashing. One wrong move and everything was exposed, oder one right move. And if it hadn't been for that loose hanging necktie, I could have seen her entire cleavage. Her bra was already peeking at me through one of the many holes all over her shirt. It seemed as though Zombie-Rie was dead serious about devouring Taiko's heart. Unfortunately, her getup had one fatal flaw. If that's your intention, don't you think you went a little overkill on the makeup part? What? You really think so? Well, those wounds look mighty disgusting. Isn't that a major turnoff? See, Miyamoto-san, I told you a zombie wasn't the best costume choice. But... Yeah. Her mouth distorted by skepticism, Rie began examining herself. She was obviously getting doubts about her outfit choice, and for a zombie with such unusual aspirations, this must have been a rather grave concern. What do you say, Raiko-nyan? Do you think I overdid it? Oh, unsere erste Dialog-Choice. You worry too much, you look perfect. Just get naked. Okay, you're fine as long as Taiko's a necrophile. Ja, super. Ja. Also, ich denk mal, sobald du dich einfach ausziehst, ist alles okay. Oh, that's gonna happen soon enough anyways. Sehen wir das auch? Wait. Raiko-nyan? Did you really just say that? Maybe. Maybe not. I guess we'll never know. Huh. Is that you actually trying to joke around? It's hard to tell if you keep wearing that serious expression. Wait. You are serious, aren't you? Actually, You naughty little girl, you. Yeah. Well, if you wanna see me naked, we could take a shower together and you could help me wash off this body paint. So how about it? No. Och, schade. Hätte man auf YouTube zwar nicht zeigen dürfen, aber hätte ich jetzt gern gesehen. Come on. I'm just teasing you again. Dang it, girl. Stop being so serious. Oh, well, I guess I'll take a shower by myself then. Your loss. And here I put so much effort into this makeup. But to be honest, the face paint's itchy as hell anyways. It makes me want to tear off my skin for real. So in other words, the face paint was killing her, huh? Ja, wirklich toller Witz. Well, I guess I'll take a quick shower then. I need to carry your bags to your room anyways. You two wanna share one, right? Sure. Alrighty. And hopefully I'll share my room with Taiko-kun tonight. She really was dead set on seducing Taiko, wasn't she? Kommen jetzt die ganze Zeit so Todespuns. Where's the room anyway? On the 3rd floor. Since we're the only people around here tonight, I thought I'll give you guys the special treatment and let you sleep in the more luxurious guest rooms. What? You serious? Yep. I like the regular guest rooms. They even have a shower, a bathtub, and really big fluffy beds. Nice! Can't wait to see it. Was hat die eigentlich für einen komischen Dialekt? Well, you'll get to see it soon enough. But for now, you should probably go greet the others while I'll... try to join the living again. Runa will show you the way. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Rie turned around to the reception counter and reached for a little rectangular paper stand holding a whole bunch of hand-sized booklets. After grabbing one, she faced me again and whipped it against my chest. Huh? You should take one of these. It has a little bit of information about the resort in it as well as a map. Not like this place is so big and complicated you could easily get lost, but you never know. Maybe it might come in handy tonight, who knows? That was supposed to sound ominous, by the way. Okay. Thanks. Anyways, I'm off. See ya in a bit. And just like that, Rie scooted off in a hurry, our bags under her arms. Apparently she was really dying to take that shower. Good thing I kept these stupid puns to myself. Ja, wirklich. Well then, Shinpuku-san, Akadori-san, shall we be on our way? Okay. Taking the lead, Runa left the reception room via the same door Rie has disappeared through. I didn't waste any time, stuffed the pamphlet into my pocket and, together with Bara-chan, followed by our guide. New notebook entries have been added. Ja, neue Diary Entry und new character profiles. You can now take a look at the result map from the notebook menu. Ah, okay. After leaving the reception, a rather long corridor was stretching out before us. Okay. Ich habe nur gerade auf die Türennamen da geguckt, was da drauf steht. Ich war gerade ein bisschen verwirrt, aber ich habe die Einsen hier, da geht irgendwie der Strich so weit runter. Ich habe das eben als eine 4 interpretiert und habe mir gedacht, das macht gar keinen Sinn, aber es ist auch eine 1. Okay, da ist nochmal 101, 102 und dann würde ich mal sagen, geht das hier so weiter. Auf der linken Seite sind die ganzen ungeraden Türen und auf der rechten die geraden. Okay. After leaving the reception, a rather long corridor was stretching out before us. Numerous doors were lining each of its sides, candle stands placed in regular intervals between them. Their little flames were bathing the walls in warm orange glow. It was actually bright enough that Runa didn't bother switching on the ceiling lights, which were partially hidden by the blue curtains above us. Directly to our left were the restrooms, and to our right a big staircase leading to the upper floors as well as the basement. It was a bit to make out due to the distance, but at the far end of the hallway I spotted what appeared to be a circular window. Das Ding da hinten, ne? A little bit of moonlight was shining through its wooden grates, slightly bleaching the blue surface of the carpet covering the floor. Dang, this place is a lot bigger than I thought. It might be rather big, but its layout is actually pretty simple. The dining hall lies at the end of this hallway. That's where the others are waiting. Please follow me. And with this, Runa began to move ahead at leisurely pace. Bara-chan and I followed her, letting our eyes slide across all the numbered doors we passed on the way. How big is this place anyway? Like, how many people could stay here at the same time? According to this map, there are exactly 42 guest rooms. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 Guest Rooms. Aber es gibt ja noch weitere Stockwerke, ne? Since I was kind of interested in the resource layout myself, I had already taken out the pamphlet again and to study the included map. I stopped near one of the candle stands for a moment to have a better look at it, and Bara-chan and Runa gathered around me, peeking over my shoulders. There are 12 guest rooms on the first floor. Ah, okay, da sind noch mehr. Das sind 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 Stück. A total of 20 on the second floor and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 nochmal auf dem dritten. Exactly 10 on the third one. So a total of 42 guest rooms. Taking into account the number of lockers in the reception, however, this resort should have room for about 50 waren das. Oh, you have a keen eye. Oh, you have a keen eye, Shinpoku-san. Did you actually count the lockers in the reception? Well, you are quite right. This resort has enough room for a total of 50 guests. While most of the guest rooms are made for only one person, the rooms on the third floor are actually made for 2 people each. Ja, indeed. Hieß es ja auch schon, wir werden uns einen Raum teilen. There were definitely a lot less rooms on the third floor, but to compensate for their lack in numbers, they were twice as big. Those are also the rooms we are staying, correct? Yes. I think you should be room 302, but you might want to check with Miyamoto-san later, just to make sure. Alright. In any case, it's just as you said. The layout of this place really is simple. By the way, do all these rooms have like some super fancy theme to them? You know, like a room that looks like the interior of a submarine, or maybe one that spots some wicked space design with stars and shit painted on a walls and ceiling. Ich habe noch nie ein Hotelzimmer gesehen, das aussieht wie das Innere eines U-Boots. Unfortunately, no. While the rooms on the third floor are designed rather individually, it is not to such great extent. They merely differ in color and furniture. As for the guest rooms on the first and second floors, they are more or less identical, I'm afraid. Ah, nut bunnies. Although I guess that means there ain't no hell-themed rooms round either, so that's a relief. Warum sollte es in irgendeinem Hotel, ein Zimmer mit dem Thema Hölle geben? Ich meine, wer will denn in der Hölle übernachten? I fail to see how this existence of a hell-themed room had been anywhere close to being a legitimate worry in the first place. Richtig. But I guess all that mattered was that Bara-chan had one less thing to worry about tonight. Anyway, what about the basement? The basement? Yes! I want to know what it looks like. Sick. Warum? Ah, da gibt's hier Table Tennis und sowas und Karaoke-Räume. Wow! That looks a little more complicated. And I don't see any guest rooms at all. Ja, da sind dann scheinbar eher sowas wie Toiletten, was man unbedingt braucht. Überall. Aber warum braucht man im Keller 2 Toiletten? Also, es ist ja nicht einfach nur eine für Männer und eine für Frauen, es sind jeweils 2 für beide Geschlechter. Wow, that looks a little more complicated, genau. Und hier haben wir Table Tennis und den Manager Room und Store Room und Laundry Room und Food Storage und Freezer Room. Okay, das hier sind eigentlich mehr so die Sachen, die nur so für das Personal bestimmt sind, ne? Also hier und deswegen haben die ihre eigenen Toiletten. Das sind wahrscheinlich die Mitarbeitertoiletten. Während hier dann nochmal die Toiletten für die Gäste sind, die sich in den Karaoke-Räumen oder im Table Tennis Room oder der Bar aufhalten. Most of the rooms in the basement are for staff only, except for the rooms on the left half. As you can see, there is a bar as well as a couple of rooms for recreational activities. Dang! They even got a karaoke rooms here? We totally gotta make use of them! And what's that? It is at the staircase in the food storage? Stimmt, warum ist da eine Treppe aus dem Food Storage? Indeed. It connects directly to the kitchen. Ah, okay, on the first floor. Das macht natürlich Sinn. Das macht dann natürlich Sinn. Ne? Ah, for reals, man. That's kinda nifty. A shortcut for the kitchen stuff, eh? Gotta say, this place is actually pretty cool. So, like, do a lot of peeps usually come here? Apparently a lot of school classes visit here during summer and winter excursions. As far as I know, those are the only times the resort is actually booked out. Nevertheless, it does seem to get a lot of customers throughout the year. Most are drawn here by the famous hot springs and historical sites. It's also an ideal place for hiking. I see. Would be neat if our class would come here too sometime. I closed the map and put the pamphlet back into my pocket. As we continued down the hallway, Bara-chan began burying Runa under enormous piles of questions. She wanted to know literally everything about this resort, ranging from what a normal workday for the staff was like to what kind of foods were usually served for dinner. Ja, dabei werden wir das alles hier wahrscheinlich gar nicht haben. I honestly felt sorry for Runa, who tried to answer everything to the best of her abilities, but unfortunately couldn't in most cases. She wasn't an employee after all. She had only been here a couple of times herself and merely to help Rie with the preparations for the party. I'm truly sorry, Akadori-san, but that is all I can tell you. It's okay. Sorry for the machine gunning with questions. Was just kinda curious. Well, you might find some additional information in that booklet Miyamoto-san gave you. Wait, was that... Yes, no doubt about it. 3? Was ist mit 3? If you want to know more about the details... 2? You should ask Miyamoto-san. 1. She will be able to... wer ist das? Aku! Startled almost to death by that sudden ear-shattering scream, Barachan stumbled backwards directly into my arms and buried me right under herself on the cold, uncomfortable floor. Once again, suffering under a radical reduction of my air supply, I tried pushing her off me. Unfortunately, she was too heavy to move for my frail arms. I guess some higher power really wanted me to die of suffocation tonight. Curses, if only Barachan wasn't so easy to startle. Then again, it was all her fault. Wer ist das schon wieder? When I looked up, I could see that little devil standing there. Letting her annoying laugh echo throughout the hallway at full blast, she began furiously waving that weird stick in her hands around. Das ist eine Sense, kein Stick. It had a blade of poorly cut out cardboard pieces, slathered in a thick coat of silver paint attached to it. Ich hatte früher mal auf einer Halloween-Party, wo ich als Sensenmann gehen wollte, genau sowas gemacht. Ein Besenstiel, wo einfach dann so ein Pappding dran geklebt war, was so silber angemalt war. Erinnert mich gerade irgendwie so ein bisschen daran. Ich weiß nicht mehr, ob es das Teil noch gibt, aber musste ich gerade dran denken. Was that pitiful result of lacking craftsmanship supposed to be a scythe? Your souls are now Mika's! While she continued laughing as loud and annoying as humanly possible, Runa, who had been almost scared to death herself, slowly managed to get back on her feet. She wiped the dust off her butt and, after taking a deep breath, faced our reckless attacker with a rather reproachful look. Tamashi-san, don't scare us like that. Seriously? That ain't funny, girl. You almost gave me a heart attack. Barachan also managed to rise back to her feet. Unlike Runa, she was still a little shaken though. After her breathing rhythm had somewhat stabilized, she turned around to check on me, but the second she laid eyes on me, her expression was once again struck with horror as she realized I was still lying flattened on the floor. Panicking, she quickly grabbed my hand to help me get back onto my feet as well. Sorry for stamping ya. You alright? Yes. Yes, just feel a little squishy. Did Mia give you a good scare? Yeah, sure did. Where the heck did she even come from? Mika just came from the toilet when she saw and thought to herself, they will make for some easy targets. Warum redet sie in der dritten Person über sich? Gehört das zu ihrem Act als Sensenmann? After even more laughter had come gushing forth from her crescent-shaped mouth, she simply stared at me with her emerald green eyes, filled with self-satisfaction and a hint of triumph. This girl. Okay, sie mag den 1. April und Streiche spielen und Leute erschrecken. Und sie mag nicht, wenn man sie anmeckert oder Perverse. Ich mag sie nicht. Alleine schon wegen der Dinge, die sie mag. Keine Ahnung. Also sie baut gerne Scheiße. Also wenn man das so liest, in anderen Worten, sie baut gerne Scheiße, aber möchte nicht gerne die Konsequenzen dafür tragen. Das ist alles, was ihren Charakter quasi ausmacht. Nika Tamashi, another one of my classmates. It should have been pretty obvious by now, but this girl was silly beyond belief and well known for her continuous shenanigans. She was even worse than my mother. There was more mischief on her mind than stars in the sky. Playing pranks on people and scaring the living daylights out of them was her favorite sport. Sneakily smuggling spiders into your lunchbox or depositing dead cicadas in your shoes were just some of her lesser crimes. Das ist echt eklig. Most disturbing of all, however, she even took pride in the fact that she had scared everyone in my class to such an extent that they had literally wet their pants or run off in tears. Well, every single one of them but me. Yeah. What's the matter? Did Mika scare Raiko so much she lost her voice? Not really. Huh? With her eyes narrowed and a fang-like tooth sticking out between her devilishly contorted lips, Mika suddenly seemed even more satisfied than just a second ago. Is that true? Next time you want to sneak up on someone, try matching your footsteps to your victims. Once I noticed a quick pair of extra footsteps behind us, you lost every chance to startle me. Aku, Mika didn't expect anything less from Raiko. However... Yelling as loud as she could, she raised her arm to point her index finger directly at my nose, almost as though she was trying to poke a hole into my face. Mark Mika's words. Tonight will be the night Mika will show Raiko what true terror is. Mika will shock Raiko and make her cry out in torment and despair. Okay, sie ist die Mörderin, das weiß ich jetzt schon. I gladly accepted your challenge. Show me what you've got. Aku! The air around us was slowly getting tense as we silently stared at each other for a while. Countless times before had she tried to startle me, but had never succeeded. She just kept making the smallest of mistakes, which prepared me for her assaults. I didn't know what exactly her deal was, but it apparently bugged her quite a bit that she hadn't been able to scare me yet. And judging from her resolute expression, she definitely wanted to change that tonight. I normally wouldn't have cared for this nonsense, but part of me felt like I didn't want to lose to her, so yes. This wasn't just some childish game anymore. It was a matter of pride for the both of us. Excuse me, but would you mind sorting this out later, Shinpuku-san, Tamashi-san? We really shouldn't keep the others waiting any longer than necessary. Okay. A cue! Good. Then please follow me. After exchanging one last glance of spark-emitting rivalry, Mika and I turned away from each other to follow Runa and Bara-chan, who had already moved on ahead. Maybe this night was going to become a little interesting after all. A new diary entry has been added. New character profile has been added. Okay. Ich würde sagen, an dieser Stelle sehen wir uns dann beim nächsten Mal wieder bei Shinrai Broken Beyond Despair. Bis dann, Leute. Ciao.